What went into the decision to option Alvarez?
Yeah, a lot. Not an easy decision. Something that we don't take lightly when we're making, again, these decisions, extensive conversations. But at the end, we decided that it was best for him to go down in Triple-A, play every day, work on whether it's the offense, the defense, just in general. I mean, there's a lot of potential there, and when he's playing up to his potential, he's got a chance to be a pretty special player, and we're gonna need him. And we expect him to be back, but right now we feel like it's best for him to go down there and get reps.
How did he take the conversation?
Very professional. He listened, very respectful. Obviously frustrated because when you're in the big leagues and you get sent back down, that's what you don't want to hear that. But again, he took it very professionally and very respectfully too.
Did you get any kind of feedback from him, like him saying, like, this is what I think the issue is, or anything like that? Or
no, he listened a lot. He did a lot of listening, and then there was a follow up where it's like, I want to make sure I'm playing. And then, it was like, don't worry about it. We're going to put a plan together here. We're going to talk to the staff in Triple-A, coaches, manager, defensive coaches, and the coordinators, and, just make sure you go down there and play.
You've mentioned recently that you thought some of the at-bats had been better. So why was now the time?
Yeah, the consistency. There were days where, there were stretches where I felt like a couple of games where, okay, that's what's supposed to look like. But then he'll go in a couple of games where he's late with the fastball and then he chases. So just looking for consistency here, And when you're playing, even though we gave him a chance here, if you're playing 3-4 games a week compared, having an opportunity to go play 6, that's how you're going to get better, And in reality, Luis continues to earn playing time. So we're getting to a point where like 50-50, and that's what's best for Alvi? Probably not at this time. So that's why.
He made some pretty significant changes to his swing in the offseason. When you look at that, is that something that you think will pay dividends or something that he has to fix or adjust?
Yeah, I feel like some of the things that he worked on in the offseason are legit, But again, not only you're working and making these drastic adjustments, he goes down with an injury and misses pretty much a whole spring training. And then he's got to go through a rehab process, and before you know it, he's competing at the big league level. And we know how good the pitching is here. So to his defense, like back-to-back years where he's dealing with some type of injury. So again, we've seen some signs, but we got to see on a consistent basis.
Does it factor into it all that you have a guy, Sanger, who you feel good about defensively, who can step in to the backup role, and you kind of know a little bit what you have there?
Yeah, I mean, but when we're making this decision, it's all about the player. Yeah. So it was more about what was best for Alvi, what's best for the team and the organization when we're looking at the present and the future. So, yes, it's always nice to have a guy like Sanger who he's shown already that he can handle that role. But again, when we're talking about Alvi, it was what's best for Alvi.
So it kind of sounds like you think when he went down in spring training and he got hurt, he missing out on those at-bats to sort of test the new swing and get consistency with the new swing is maybe set him back a bit?
Because of the injury?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Didn't have at-bats.
Yeah, exactly. And I think he was getting at-bats at the minor league level, when that happened. So you're going through major adjustments. You're going to need and that's what spring training is for. And the goal, when he reported, like, hey, we're going to try and get you as many at-bats as possible before we break camp. And then, unfortunately, he went down. So, again, not trying to make excuses for the kid, but he's something that we also talk about.
Was he surprised by the timing, given he just went 2 for 5 with the home run yesterday?
No, like I said, he didn't say much. And we're not reacting when we're making this decision. This is, like I said, extensive conversations, and we just decided that it was the right time to do it now.
Carl, did you feel like this was something that he may have seen as not necessarily coming, but something that could be a possibility for him?
I don't think so. These guys are locked in right now in preparing day in and day out and trying to help us win a baseball, especially in a position like that that is so demanding. As soon as they get to the ballpark, they're doing something, whether it's game planning, working on their offense. Like, there's a lot. Like, for me to sit here and say, well, he had it on the back of his mind, probably not.
Defensively, where do you want to see him improve the most, and why do you think maybe there was a little bit of regression?
Yeah, everything. The receiving, the blocking. I feel like he's gotten better with his exchanges and throwing guys out. But I feel like the receiving and the blocking is probably an area that we want to see some improvement there. And obviously he's got to play.
He has a pretty high catcher's ERA with some of your pitchers. How much of that do you think is on him, and how much of that is just kind of luck of the draw?
Yeah, I think it's hard to put it on one guy. I think, executing, but to blame an ERA on Albi. This is a guy that's got leadership skills. We've seen how invested he is in the pitching staff, how much he cares about those guys. So I think it's just something that just happening now.
For you, I mean, we all know what Albi's about, just personality-wise, is that sort of thing. How difficult is it for you to kind of deliver that message to that kind of guy?
Yeah, I mean, it's not easy, for me as a manager and for all us a coaching staff, having a player that talented here, and he's kind of like disappointed, that's how I take it, But again, he's part of the process, part of the business. It's not the first time. It's not going to be the last time. And at the end of the day, it came down to that's what we feel was best for him.
After a 25 home run season in 23, it appeared Alvarez would be on his way to all-star games rather than back to the minors. So, Sal, what's your gut tell you about whether or not he'll return and become a major – he's going to return, obviously, but become a major contributor again this year?
I think he's got the right mindset and enough self-confidence to figure it out. I think this is the best move that the organization can make for themselves and for Francisco Alvarez. And really, to me, Eamon, it's about the decision, having the guts and the smarts to understand it's okay to send a top prospect who is failing down, something we haven't seen the Yankees do, whether it was Volpe, whether it would be Dominguez to me this year. The Mets are doing it with Alvarez. Why just stick with it because of the potential or because of the top prospect? It's not working here. So they got to figure that out. What's going to be best for Alvarez? Get him set, get him some playing time, get his mind right, get that confidence back, have him have some success, and bring him back up. I think it's the greatest move that the organization can make with Alvarez. I think he will respond accordingly whenever it is that he does return.
Yeah, I think the key thing you said there was get his mind right, because it appears that his offensive struggles is going behind the plate with him as well. So now let's see how long he stays with Syracuse. Sal Licata, thanks for joining us on Honda Sports Night.